Welcome to Glazed Over,
a podcast for business tips, painting tricks, and gabbing with friends.
We're your hosts, Amy Williams
and Christine Steele, and we're so glad you're here.
Hey, Christine.
Hi, Amy. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. I just am enjoying the pre-fall, all the things. I am just fabulous.
Yes. In Atlanta, we call that fake fall, what's happening right now, because it's going to be, I think, 95 degrees later this week. So we are,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, we're currently in the throes of fake fall, which has been really nice, but we know that it's not permanent.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to today's episode. We've had a really good run of amazing, insightful, very cool guests telling us about their expertise, and that's been really fun. And now it's just me and you, because you are our expertise guest today.
I'm honored.
Guest. The coffee's not kicked in yet.
That's okay. I am honored anyway to be able to talk about something that's kind of near and dear that we've been doing at the studio since December.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about what the topic of our episode is today.
So I kind of developed a adults with disabilities class every Wednesday and Thursday at the studio. They are budget friendly to fit all abilities is the idea. So I'm super excited about that.
Very cool. So how long have you been doing that?
We started in December, so we just kind of launched it. So a little backstory, I called my aunt. My cousin has Down syndrome, and I was like, hey, I have this idea for adults with disabilities. What do you think? And we kind of developed this little brain baby, which I have a background. I was a case manager, so I wanted to create something that was budget friendly, but also got people out of the house, out of the facilities that, day programs, and something that was fun, but not overstimulating too. On a service plan for case management, you always had education, vocation, so hobbies, budget, and I was trying to come up with something that would be able to fit in different things and then advertise it that way.
So what do you want to talk about first? Advertising or like the structure of it? Because that's a lot. That's a lot. And I love the idea of this, and I would feel really intimidated where to start. So I guess let's talk about the structure of how you do this, because Wednesday and Thursday every week, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's only for an hour, which is nice. I know the struggles of we have people that come in sometimes, and it breaks my heart because I don't know who they've talked to, but they're like, hey, we have a group from a day program. Are they allowed in here?
Mm-hmm.
And I immediately say, well, why wouldn't they be? And it breaks my heart that they obviously have had businesses that have said, no, thank you. So we are crafting for all abilities. It doesn't matter what your limitations might be. We will find a way. We're really excited about that. I have some contacts that work for day programs, and I called her up too, and I was like, hey, I have this idea, and it kind of just snowballed from there. So we started doing that in the beginning of December, and now we are rolling with, I would say, at least 4 or 5 different programs have come in like during that time. And we've even had people reach out to us for doing the same kind of crafts, which I'll get into exactly what we're doing with those for kids in high schools. So special, I think, life skills. I think that's what they're called in the schools, which I love. I love how everything is adapting to help build people up. I think it's so cool that we change wording so that we can empower. So that's why I am sorry. I have to make sure that I'm using the right terminology.
I think it's important to talk about because it can feel scary when we get these words wrong, right?
Yeah,
but as long as we're coming from a place of respect and just trying to genuinely learn, I think it's okay if you don't get it right the first time, or you ask someone, what do I say? You know what I mean? It's like how everything goes. But yeah, you're totally right. It's changing and adapting, and it feels better.
So cool. Behind it is everyone being included, which is the coolest thing ever. So we had some life skills that contacted us and was like, hey, I know you do this for adults, but would you mind if I got my life skills class to come in? And now we have 20 people coming in from one of the schools next month. So of course, as a business owner, when someone's saying something, you're not going to be like, no, thank you. Like, you're like, yes, how can I make this work? So super fun. The crafts are we make sure that we have 2 months in advance because you have to be able to advertise it. You have to be able to send it to your local businesses or local programs that are helping our individuals.
Yeah. Can I ask quickly, how do you find those programs? Like, how would you suggest someone starting from scratch find these day programs? Like, what are they looking for?
Yeah.
Is there like what's that pathway?
Yeah. So I personally, working in the field of blended case management, I would recommend the first person you contact is your local community resources. We call our CCR. It's a community resource center of resources. Somebody that has all of the knowledge. You could probably also reach out to your comrades, I would say, maybe local businesses that help individuals that have special needs, and get their email, call them, ask them like, hey, what do you guys offer? Is this something that could be helpful to you for getting people out in the community? Call the high schools. Like I said, you could get the life skills involved. And also, that if you have a paper up in your studio, if somebody needs it, they will see that and they will say, oh my goodness, can I give this to my friend? She works somewhere. I would say another option, if you want to dive really deep, it's not something I've done yet, but local hospitals always have a mental health unit. You could even call to maybe see if their caseworker would be willing to have, your flyer up there in the community event stuff, because that way when people are trying to get a plan of care to leave the hospital, they want something to make sure that they have routine and sense of community. So maybe that could be something. We also have a drop-in center called the Grapevine here in Butler. So that could be something that you could target. Can I advertise this and explain what it is? And mostly people, so far, I have found that people are just excited for something new and something affordable and a chance for everyone to do some art. It's really fun to have a studio where we welcome all families, but we all know that not everyone can afford ceramics. It is something that, even, I don't know about you, there's even items on my shelf that I would say, ooh, I wouldn't pay that.
Oh yeah, I can't afford my stuff.
Right. So we try to make something that is affordable for everyone. Everyone should be able to do some kind of art. Now, it is definitely crafty. When I say crafty, I don't mean it's not going to be a Christmas tree. It is going to be like a ceramic
it's not
Christmas tree.
always ceramics, right?
No, it's actually never ceramics. There's one project, and I'll get into that.
Yeah,
because
let's
it's
get into it
interesting.
now. What
Okay.
kind of projects are you offering, and what's the price point?
Yeah. Well, so it's always $5. Always. Never more. We have talked about before about how I have a still working on shelf and how I have years on there. Well, what we did since we had this program, some of the ceramic pieces that have been abandoned, and we have said to them, hey, you have 30 days to come get this. If not, we're going to discard it. And those are the ones that have been here for 2 years. The ceramic pottery wheel pieces that people have made that they have abandoned, we have called multiple times. I'm not just saying that we're like, oh, you weren't here last week, we gave it away. We have held on for a really long time. We gave our Crafting Connections individuals a chance to paint those, which was really neat, because then what we did was we took that $5 that they paid for that, and then we actually used it for other individuals. We have like a little bit of a bank now. Other individuals that if they come in and they forget their money, because that's going to happen once or twice, we now have almost like a pay it forward bank. I won't lie, we go on Pinterest, we get some ideas. The cutest one that I've seen this month, I think, is my manager is amazing. She is a Cricut queen. I love her so much for all the things that she does, but she cut out this sloth. It's a paper sloth, and that you fasten it together with those what are those that they fold over? They're
like brackets or something.
Brass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
So
is that
you
word?
put those on there. I don't
Everyone's
know, but
screaming it into their phone right now.
I hope so. But we had those with little leaves and stuff like that. And it was like a hanging sloth, and it was adorable. It's definitely fun. Like those craft fillers that you might do during camps. Those are kind of the things that we might do.
Sure. What are you typing in on Pinterest when you are searching for these type of projects?
The season and then crafts. So right now we are getting ready. So we try to always be 2 months ahead, because you can't advertise it if you don't have the paper. So we print off papers that's like, these are our crafts for this month. And then I have now collected the emails of the workers for the different programs, and we email those out. It's really cool because since we've had that now, like the biggest mistake I had was I was like, this is a craft. Come join us. They didn't know what it was, and they were like, I don't want to. Now it's so cool, because if you don't need as much hand mobility to do a project, they choose to come in. Like I have noticed that the ones that are a little bit easier, you don't need the motor skills to create. A lot of our friends that have more limitations in wheelchairs, they come to those ones. So it's kind of cool that they can toss up which ones they want to attend by what abilities they might have or what extra help they might need.
And you're putting all of this on the flyer, right?
Yeah.
So
We have
can you
the
talk us
picture.
through a typical I can put this on our Instagram so we can see what like an example of the flyer would look like. But what points are you covering in your marketing materials that help change their minds or help get the point across about what the craft is? Because you're right. If you just say craft, a lot of people don't really fully know what that means or don't know what it entails. And when something's sensitive like this, they might not want to join, So that's a cool thing to learn.
We just honestly put a clear picture. And I'd like to go into the craft. Like I have a subscription for, I think it's a art after school program. Like it gives you ideas and that kind of stuff. So that way then I don't have to recreate it and I can just like copy paste and I have that. If it's a painting, we've explained to people that, you're going to need full mobility of your hands. If it is something that you're like putting together, we do have aids. And we tell everybody that I know that when people come out in the community, normally it is one worker for 3 individuals. So we know that there's at least going to be helpers there, but we never had it. Like we limit it to only 12 people. So that way then we're able to bounce between everyone too, which is super helpful with that. Because if you can imagine if some workers, they're not as helpful as they should be maybe. So they're kind of on their phone a little bit in the corner. So we have to bounce between everybody, but there's only one of us. And I got to tell you, this isn't something to make bank off of, just to make it very clear. This is something that is a feel good. It is something to give back to your community. It is something that is going to honestly, like my staff and I, we always say like, this is our favorite part of the day or the week because it's
enrichment for everyone.
Yes, absolutely. And if you wait till you see the smiles whenever they make something, and you have to, always ask, do we have permission to get these pictures, take some videos? It's been very rewarding. It's not something that I'm not going to tell you you're going to make an extra $700 a month. If that's what you want to do with it, then maybe look for a different kind of setup. But this is something that is just, you're literally making art for a chance for everyone to do so.
So you started this program back in December. You can tell we're coming into the busy season because it's kind of all I'm ever thinking about. How do you plan to manage this program that you do 2 days a week? So you Wednesday, Thursday throughout the busy season. Like, is it going to change in any way? Is it going to stay the same? I mean, it is just an hour, which is great, but I think it can feel overwhelming to some of us when you're right. This isn't the biggest moneymaker to kind of fit in amongst the busy season. So what do you think that's going to look like for you?
Well, and I say we because my manager and we've come up with this kind of, I'm not organized, I won't lie, at all. Like that doesn't happen to me. And what I found is that the more organized you are with this kind of program, it makes it go a lot smoother. What we do is that we have our schedule and then we have these bins, and then she's the Cricut queen. So she will cut out if she needs something and she'll put it in that bin weeks ahead. So when she gets a free time, she will prep something, and that way then we know. So we limit it to 12 people. We do 12 preps. That way then we know that if we don't use them, then we can always give them away or do something or put them in, like I said, save them for a camp. That's what we did this summer when we would have extras that somebody wasn't using. I just threw them into a camp, and it was kind of fun for them to do that. So
it's just you and your manager doing this. Do you have any other staff helping?
Not right now. It's just the 2 of us because mostly we love it. And I think that we want to keep this secret from our other staff because we don't want them to take it from us. So if you can think of is it VBS? If you think of that kind of style of crafting where
what is that?
Vacation Bible studies, VBS.
Yeah.
So we're not talking.
I didn't.
That I was proud that I remembered that, but it was I actually can't even remember if I ever went to Vacation Bible study, but that's okay, or Bible school. That's what I don't know. Anyway, it was you're really get out of that fine frame of I have to make $40 off of this craft. Like this is like you're talking about paper. That's what we use. The big 10 packs of canvases at Michael's. You get, I think they're like $13. So you get them, get a 10 pack. So that means that math, it is what, $1.50, something like that per canvas.
A 13 pack is $10. Everyone's screaming at home. So it's less than $1 each.
Yeah. So that helps. And that, keep that cost down. And then we use tissue paper. So we've done that where we've used bubble wrap where we made beehives.
That's cute.
The only thing is though, just because it is adults with disabilities doesn't mean that you need to, I wouldn't give them just a popsicle stick and tell them to make a forky. That would be kind of cute, but you want to make sure that you don't want to
You're
don't
not
want
being
them to be
condescending.
disappointed. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. That was like you got to at least, make it at least worth something. And then there's some days that like you might not make much off it. Like it might be 50 cents that you actually profit off. But then there's other days that like, it's just recycled. I don't know. We all have craft rooms that we have a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah.
So you can always start there.
Well, and we tell everybody too, this is an experience. You're coming to make a memory. And so I think you have to tell yourself that too in this type of program where, it's an experience for, these new customers of ours. And that's really fun. It also makes me think of like other opportunities, going to your local VA, the Veterans Hospital, or like retirement center. Elaine's grandfather's in a retirement home and they're always up to something, and their budget's also not huge. So like it could be really fun to go and do that. Like it's nice to explore options when you're thinking outside of the ceramic box. Because taking ceramics places is hard.
It is. Well, and not only that though, it's not even having a business. It's kind of nice not to do things for the idea of pure profit. It's kind of nice just to kind of enjoy sharing the love of art, because that's honestly what you're doing, is that you are just getting someone excited. And I mean, going into nursing homes, going into hospitals, there's somebody that needs a smile. And I love it. There are people that come in here and I will tell you, if they come on a Thursday, and that's usually my mornings, and I'm not here and Katie's here instead, they're like, where's Christine? Or vice versa. If Katie went on vacation, so I was here and they're like, you're not Katie. And I'm like, I'm sorry that I'm not. You realize how much of an impact you're making by how excited they are. And then when that finished project is held up and you see that smile, it's just worth it.
Yeah, my gym actually does a class with like a day center, and they come in and they work out, and it always seems like the most fun class. At the end, everyone's so excited, and it's definitely like vibes are higher than my typical class. So I might try to crash that one of these days.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I think we need the boost,
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. It's just that reminder. But the coolest moment, though, I will say. So Jeremy is the one that helped me kind of create this. And I've been telling my aunt that like, okay, so these are some of our friends that Jeremy knows Jeremy that have come in here. And the one moment that Jeremy was actually here. So we had a full room, and I say we limit it to 12. Sometimes people show up. So you got to make sure you have, that little bit of extra. We had, I think, 20 people in the room, and that includes like the helpers too. So, but I think we had like maybe 18 participants. But Jeremy was here. And I said, I just want to let everyone know we have a celebrity here today. And I introduced Jeremy, and he got a big smile on his face. He's 53 years old. I am his favorite because, believe it or not, I actually talk the least in my family. And he kind of gave me that look, but he was still kind of happy because I made him the center of attention. And I said, I don't know if you guys know this, but Jeremy is actually the reason why we created this program. And he's the reason why you guys are here creating with us today. And he smiled and he was super happy. And then all I heard throughout the whole room was, thank you, Jeremy. I started to cry. I was like, I'm back. Like it was very emotional. And it's just, like I said, this is all about the feel goods. It's about giving back to the community that builds your business. This is the chance to do something like that. So
yeah, absolutely. So have the high school programs come by yet? Or is that still kind of in talks?
Well, we have one scheduled for next month. So that's going to be
Nice.
We've had other programs come, like the same program, but doing other things. The Best Buddies is what they call it. It's a new version of the Big Brother Big Sister, but
cute.
it's called Best Buddies, and they've come in for the last couple years, and that's pretty cool too.
And it's the same format. That's the word I couldn't get to.
Yeah,
same format for kind of every.
It's a little bit different. We give them, like, they give us a budget. So normally that's like $15 because normally the parents are the ones that are paying for, or sometimes the school will cover a portion of it. So that's we usually actually do ceramics or canvas for that.
And still an hour long?
Yeah. I think everyone needs one. Everyone needs a little program that can just, like I said, extra smiles. Ugh, it's the best. Those are the days that, and I mean, we all have those moments where we're like, should we sell a studio today? I think if someone came in
or just
and
burn it down.
Yeah, like keep the kiln a little bit, open. But these days with these programs are the reason that you are open. It brings
Mhm.
such a light to the studio, and it's just worth it. Everyone needs it. Even if you just offer one day every 6 months and
Mhm.
call it a program for, the only thing is though, I will tell you, I call it Adults with Disabilities Crafting Connection, but then
Mhm.
I make sure I put it on there that we welcome all abilities. And the reason why is because back to that wording, we're trying to empower. And we also don't fact check. Like, I don't need someone to bring in their paper. I don't care if
Yeah.
the disability is a limitation cognitively, mobility. I don't care if it's like a mental health, like anything. We're not going to ask questions. So we're not going to be like, can I see your paper, please? Like, no,
Right.
just welcome. Come paint with us. It's just really cool. Everyone needs one. You do it once a month. Once, if you don't want to do it weekly, just welcome people in and give back.
So you're a couple of months ahead, which that's how everyone should work in the industry,
Uh,
just because, advertising is important. Can you walk us through a couple of the projects that you've got coming up, just in case we're feeling inspired and want to get this going as soon as possible?
Yeah, absolutely. And it is easy. I mean, at first, like there's a couple people that like, I mean, we had one person for a class and we still ran it. It's okay. There's going to be some weeks that someone doesn't show up. And it's an extra, just open an hour earlier in your studio.
Oh, so you do it before hours, before the
I do,
studio
because that
opens?
would,
Yeah.
it's a little
It's
bit
a little
easier,
peaceful.
especially
Yeah.
I am looking up my calendar. So we have air dry clay monsters. So what we're
Oh.
doing, we have a pinch pot and it is air dry clay. So that way then they can take it home that day. They don't have to worry about coming back. And we are going to do a pinch pot upside down with the pipe cleaner and something coming out for
Hmm.
antennas. The next one is a paper craft. It is a handprint cactus where we're taking trace out the hand, cut it out, make a pot, glue that in there, and put some flowers on it. So something
Cute.
very super cute. The next one is wood crab, which is wood popsicle sticks in like a little stack. And then you have pipe cleaners coming out and it's all painted. There's little claws. I
In
like
a
that
sack. Hold on. I can't visualize that one.
huh?
Did you say wood popsicle sticks in a sack?
Nope,
In a
in a stack.
stack. Oh my God,
Yeah,
Christy.
that's okay. I got you. I got you.
Okay, got it. I was like, okay. I'm like, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm not with you all of a sudden. Okay,
That's
got
okay because maybe someone else heard that too. So good.
it.
The next one though, I'm super excited because I know that we talked about different like paint with anything but a brush
Hmm.
and what we talked about using broccoli. This one's celery. If you cut the bottom of celery in half and then you put it in paint and you can make flowers.
Yeah, that's gonna be
So
nice.
yeah, so that's going to be kind of fun. And that's again, if you think about that, it's on a brush, so limited mobility. You wouldn't be maybe they can hold a brush because it's
Hmm.
too small, but your hand grabbing that celery, it's bigger. So you might be able to have more people be able to create that way. It's something cool.
Yeah, and it seems like even if you're not paying attention to it and you're just like
Hmm.
picking stuff that's cute,
Yeah.
each one focuses on like a different kind of ability.
Yep.
So you
That's
get a range of people, you get like a range of trying, stacking,
yeah.
molding.
And it's funny because the most expensive one there would probably be the celery
Yeah.
because groceries, let's be honest. But here's what you got to do. Cut up your lunch for later, get some celery with peanut butter, and then
Mhm.
just use the end of that to stamp. So,
Mhm.
I got you lunch and now I got you a project. You're welcome.
Yeah, you're gonna have celery for 2 weeks.
That's yeah,
Every
well,
day
that's
for two
maybe
weeks.
or if you want, offer our friends celery and peanut butter or something like that so they can have a little, if
A
they
little snack.
yeah.
Nice. So you've got a full schedule.
Last month, what we did was the sloth, like I said, the hanging sloth, and then we have we used foam and we cut out like looks like a drink, and then we
Hmm.
took a sponge and we put like ice cubes in there, and we glued a straw to it, so it was called a cool drinks craft. Then we did a Northern Light canvas where we just kind of painted it all black first, and then we had Northern Lights and made some happy little trees. This week we are doing firecracker painting where we're painting it all black and then take forks and
Mm,
we make it look like a burst. So
nice. What issues maybe have you run into along the way with this program, if any?
people showing up and not calling. So if we do have something that we need to, that's why we got the bins. Like we want to make sure that it's all organized because we're going to have more people. That's about it, honestly. Yeah, I would say the only thing that's been really an issue is people are going to show up. And it's going to be so funny because they're going to say, oh, I didn't know I had to call and reserve. We're like, that's weird because you did the last 3 weeks. So that's fine.
Yeah.
And that's okay though, because are you really going to be upset that people want to come into your studio and like you're not going to kick them out?
So if you're new to this idea and you want to start this program, what is the very first thing you would do?
I would say find 4, if you're going to do it weekly, find 4 crafts that you're going to do and make a flyer. I'll share my flyer, make a flyer, and then I will also share my flyer of the whole program to kind of outline it.
To get the wordage, that would be really helpful.
Make sure, but having those 2 flyers, send them out to people. Send them out to your email list, because one thing that I kind of found out is you have regulars, but sometimes you don't know about their lives. You don't know that they do have a family member that might fit this program beautifully, and you didn't know to like tell them about it. So send it out to your email list. I put it on my post on Facebook and Instagram. Make sure you tell everybody about it. And I hate to say this, but if you build it, they will come. Like you'll be surprised. It might be able to kick off a lot faster than what you even know. And you are getting into the fun months. Think about the crafts you can do for fall. I mean, I would definitely do something. If you want to do something with ceramics, you could do hydro dip pumpkins. We have those tots where I think that we buy the tots, pumpkin tots. What are they? Like $1.50 maybe, and you can hydro dip
I love that
those.
you say pumpkin. Yeah,
I did I?
That's so cute.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you just skip right over that M.
That's my
pumpkin.
The Pittsburghese. I can't help it. I talk in cursive.
Pumpkin. Anyway, yes, the tots would be perfect for that. And then doing a hydro dip situation.
Absolutely. I think that the biggest thing that it took, I guess that was an issue for us, is they just want to do crafts.
Yeah.
Like, don't overthink it. Make it that's exactly, don't make it a 7-part process. Just have fun.
I think about that as good advice with summer camp as well. I mean, in my early days of planning summer camp, it was so complicated. We were doing the craziest stuff and no one was having fun because we were all stressed out, me the most. So that's a good thing to think about.
And then if you're planning like to it like a T, then you're like boom, 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 boom. Those kids are like, I am arted out. Like I'm done. Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you, Christine. That was really fun. And we have talked about maybe a couple other people within the industry also doing programs like this. So if that is you, we'd love to hear a little bit more about your program when we drop this episode. Tell us in chatter, tell us on the Instagram, which, by the way, are you following the Glazed Over Instagram? You should be, everyone. This is the you. I'm looking at Christine saying you, but I mean everyone back home. So please make sure you're doing that. You'll see little extra tidbits, especially like today's episode. We'll drop in Christine's flyers so you can get her wordage and start implementing this in your studio. Any final words, Christine?
I hope that I was able to say pumpkin.
Now I've gotten in her head. Well, amazing. Thank you so much for telling us about this and offering your expertise and inspiring us to remember why we got in this in the first place, that it's about experience and joy and reminding people that they can do it.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you and everyone else. And please do these programs because it's just going to spread some love. And if you have any questions, feel free to message me or email, carrier pigeon, whatever you need to. I'm here.
Drop it in chatter. Someone's always in chatter paying attention. So, well, thank you so much. Thanks everyone for listening. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Glazed Over is brought to you by the CCSA, the Contemporary Ceramic Studios Association. Thank you to our moderators, Amy Williams and Christine Steele. Intro and outro music by Scott Lester. Executive production by Louise Blazucki. Learn more about the CCSA at ccsaonline.com.